who am I? You get in the car and you don't have that job anymore. You don't have that authority. You don't have that importance anymore. You're going home. A movie came out in a little later on in the 80s that brought this home in a painful way, where he was sitting as an executive at an insurance company watching the clock until he could retire. So he retired, and he was able to kind of try and adjust there at home, doing jumbles and puzzles and occupying as much time as possible, as retired people do. Am I going to go to Costco today and the post office? Maybe I'll do Costco and then the post office tomorrow. Then I'll have some more to do. It could get depressing, and does for great numbers of people, including Mr. Schmidt here, who in this scene of the movie, in his Jack Nicholson way of talking, said, "Who is that?" with his wife, "This woman who's been living in my house for the last 42 years. I don't even know her." He's home now, and there used to be another saying that the Edison people talked about. "I married you for better or for worse, but not for lunch. Get out of here. Find something to do." And that still exists. There's an issue with the marital issue of keeping space between you and figuring out if you're going to go to counseling about how to handle this retirement, or if we're going to spend some time analyzing what goes into retirement. That's certainly one of them. The home life, everything to do with lifestyle. But now we're going to start looking at another way of handling this retirement, not retiring from something, retiring to something. Maybe there's something out there that you've got a calling, you've got something up here that appeals to you. It could be volunteering, it could be part-time work, it could be part-time things on call like freelance work. Whatever it is, let's hope it's got a purpose. Talk about how that all works. We'll be talking about moving on, and ask ourselves when, how, and to what are we going to do that? So as I said, on my business card says facilitator. I'm not going to answer all these questions for you. These are questions for you to answer to yourself. Because life isn't about becoming more than we are. It's about being all we can be. You might remember that as the Army slogan, be all you can be. But that's a very strong concept. Don't just retire. Don't get out of the world and go away. We don't want you on the sidelines. We want you involved well into those retirement years. That's going to call for some taking charge. My wife and I were up in Port Townsend, Washington. Kind of a nice little town. Kind of reminds me of Sebastopol. Has a way about it. Been around for a while. People live kind of in a freer way, think freely. And there was this little gallery along this sidewalk we were walking along in the downtown Port Townsend that had all these nice little Native American Indian artifacts and some very nice crafts and artwork and all. The doors closed, locked, sign there for rent, the store's for rent, and the sign, if you can read it, can you all read that? Reinventing my life. See ya. I'll report it, stay tuned. That's kind of the attitude of now a lot of people, because there's no time for this. Retiring is not, this idea of being 60 years old and 65 is not a matter of being mission accomplished. These people speak for that. Who in the world would put an expiration date on the brain power of Einstein or Warren Buffett, for that matter? A lot of people are thankful he's still around and making decisions, because you've got these decisions. You can't put an expiration date on your wisdom, on your experience, on your contacts, on the things you're going along with. You're going to take all that at 65 and stop and have all those assets. In fact, that's the other kind of thing we'll talk about. We talk about return on investment. What are you investing in now? Maybe it's, without you even knowing about it, you're investing every day into some kind of something that creates experience, makes you more valuable to the world. It's not a time to go to the sidelines. And heaven knows in our current lifestyle, who would have expected 73-year-old rock stars to be common. Lots of them still filling up concert halls in their 70s. And it's kind of all taken for granted. We have 70-year-old brides and grooms. We have marathon runners. That's kind of what is the fact right now. It was kind of a shameful thing back about 2002, as recently as 2002. Time magazine was featuring this young lady on the cover in her new job on roller skates serving food. That was a kind of a lighthearted way of treating what the fact was. It was looking like danger ahead. There isn't enough money for you to quit. You, as much as you might dream about using your assets, just might have to join the labor pool. In historic reference, what we were talking about back in the days there, those black and white pictures, was a linear lifestyle, or life plan. It went education, work, family, leisure. And that was kind of the name of the game. But the game changer is longevity. You're looking now at the potential of either adding 20, 25, 30 years after that retirement age, or, as a lot of people are catching on to doing, putting that longevity bonus, let's call it, in along through all of life. So maybe you're working along and you take a sabbatical and go to school, or quit and go to school and figure out another way you're going to live that way for a few years, take a trip, spend some of that money you're saving for old age, and maybe take a trip to South America or someplace, enjoy a little travel. So it's a mix of things. It's going to look more like this, coinciding all in one lifetime, moving through education, work and family, and leisure, blended into a loving life.